Fans First Sports Network, Know It All fans, frustrated Chicago sports fans, and shout out to the homies and the people that listen to Bleachers the Speakers out of the D. I'm here with representatives from each of the podcast channels, down with Fans First Sports Network. We got the homie B False in the building, up in the 313. What's up, B False?
What up, though?
Not too much, man. How's your week been?
Well, just started, but
I mean, weeks since I last saw you.
since you let, oh yeah, it's been all right. Been all right. Pistons doing their thing, so I can't complain.
Okay. And the homie Pay, what's up, Pay? I believe you probably coming at us from the 404 right now, but we know you Chicago's own.
OVO, Chicago's very own. Chicago win until Chicago win. Blow like Chicago win.
Okay. Speaking of which, we'll get into it. The only team out the Central that got a losing record in their last 10, the Chicago Bulls. But you kind of go with being a frustrated Chicago sports fans. And I'm saying that the Cavs have lost the last 3 straight games. But so I really don't have room to talk. I'm sure we'll get into it. We'll have questions for each other and that kind of stuff. If you're watching on YouTube on the Know It All's channel and you're not familiar with the channel because you're watching because of the other homies, B False and Pay on their different channels, like us all. If you're a Know It All listener, go check out Bleachers and Speaker. You already know about Pay's frustrated Chicago Bears fan. Check it out though, and give us all a subscribe and a like and a recommendation. We just here tonight talking basketball, but we get into a little bit of everything between all of us. So yeah, fellas, anything you want to say before we cut to our first break and get into it?
So the Bulls are just about to tip off, but you guys, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Pistons, got a little early showdown going on, huh?
They do. Tip off was 7:00. Where I'm at in the game, I'm guessing. You watching on NBA TV, B False?
I'm streaming it, but
okay, yeah, I was
like a possession or two ahead, but
I got Cleveland just went up 10, 55-45 with 10 seconds left. Okay. Yeah, so this game going to go to halftime. Detroit's been playing really well, but like I said, we'll get into all that. We're going to take a quick break. If you're watching on YouTube, you know how it goes down. We're not going anywhere. And we'll be back. If you listen on audio, have to hear a few words from our partners and advertisers, pay a few bills around here. So just maintain and hang out with us briefly. Check that out. We'll be right back after this message. Fellas, let's tap in on the Central and any other NBA things you'd like to discuss. Right now, though, we'll go ahead and just talk about, the Central as it stands right now. I have the records up to tonight, and this is not including tonight's records. We're looking at the Cavs at 36-9. I happen to know they're 4.5 games ahead of the Celtics, been falling back. Lots of losses, 3 consecutive. We'll talk about the reasons, I think, why and stuff like that. Milwaukee Bucks are in a solid second, 25-18. I think I might even had predicted that one would happen when they started like 2-10 or 3-10, that they come back and be second division. Pacers, surprising, 25-20. I thought they'd be the team with the most regression in the division. The Pistons playing good basketball, above 500 now. JB's doing the job over there. Got their defense, I believe I just heard, moved up from like a lower tier defense to like right at the middle of the pack. So that's a big jump when you consider like ranked 26, 27th. Now you like 14, 15. So, it can only get better for them defensively. Got some good quality athletes. They added a few veterans during this last offseason. And the Bulls sit at 19-27. I'm hearing they're in a lot of speculation about trade rumors. I hear they might be the team to take on Bradley Beal in the Jimmy Butler trade. I don't know. We'll let Pay discuss that. We'll see what he knows about it. But yeah, so for now, fellas, let's come to you first, Pay. We talked about, I just mentioned potential trades. We talked about Chicago having The only losing record in the last 10. So just go ahead and tell us what's going on, man, in the Windy with the Bulls.
Windy, huh? Yeah. Wild work. So the Bulls, as you said, the Bulls are trash. They're stir-fried poop, as Pookie said in
New Jack City.
New Jack City. That's exactly what the Bulls are. The Bulls, they've won one game in their last 8. They're 3.5 behind the Hawks, and they're one game above the Sixers for the last spot for the postseason. It's looking like that the only thing that Bulls fans can look forward to is the trade deadline, which is in less than 2 weeks, February 6th. Kobe White, best player on the team, in my opinion. He's out with a swollen ankle. He's probably going to miss another week. That's no good for them. I mean, even if they were trying to win, they're not going to win like that, right? This past week, the Bulls went 1-2. They beat the Clippers on Monday. I believe that game was played on Monday. The last 2 games, complete embarrassment. They should be demoted to the G League after those last 2 games. They lost to the Golden State Warriors the other day. I think that game was played on Thursday. A few things about that game. One, the Warriors are as mediocre as they come. You can't spell mediocre without mid, and that's exactly what the Warriors are. And they still roundhouse the Bulls. The Bulls started that game on a 16-4 run. They had the lead at the end of both first half.
That's a question, but I mean, overall, the Warriors have better talent than the Bulls. What do you say?
And that still means they're mid, right? Have you seen them play? They have better talent, and they are completely average.
Kind of what you said is like they shouldn't have lost to the Warriors. Is how I took what you alluded to.
Well, that's an inference issue. I said the Warriors are mid. They're mid means average, and they destroyed the Bulls. Right, and the Bulls are terrible, and that's exactly to the point that I'm making. The Warriors, as an average team, destroyed the Bulls because the Bulls are garbage. So they started that game off on a 16-4 run. They had the lead at the end of both of the first half periods, and then the game got turned up. The Warriors teed up on them. They blew their doors off, outscoring them by 15 in the third and by another 11 in the fourth. Completely destroyed the Bulls. They lost that game 131-106. Inexcusable, right? There's no way you should come out of the tunnel just that lackluster. But again, we're talking about the Bulls. The next game on Saturday, Bulls lost to the Sixers, and I think this game is the most important one because at some point you figure the Sixers are going to swap places with the Bulls in the standings and take over that last spot or one of them spots for postseason contention, right? Well, postseason, not contention, but postseason, gaining a postseason spot. And because the Bulls don't deserve to have, they just holding that spot, keeping it warm until the Sixers get their act together.
Is that the 10th spot?
That's the number 10 spot.
Okay.
JoJo didn't play this game. That's Joel Embiid, but no need. Kelly Oubre and Tyrese Maxey was more than enough to power the Sixers ahead of the Bulls. I think Oubre had 30 and Maxey had 30 and Oubre put in another 25 or something like that. The Bulls just don't have any punch right now. I said they lost 7-8. Zach and Vucci, man, are still continuing to put up great numbers, but it's not leading to any wins. Zoe Ball continues to play up to his minute restriction and not showing any swelling or any complications with his knees. So with February 6th, less than 2 weeks away, the hopes from Bulls Boulevard is that AKME can maybe finally, hopefully, get a haul that the Bears could not get for Justin.
Okay. Tim Lyons with a question for frustrated Chicago sports fans. You know the homie Tim Payne.
I don't think I've heard of this person. Who is this? Does Chicago have any professional sports teams? Yeah, they do.
Blackhawks.
Well,
the Cubs are going to be good this year. I think
the Cubs made me lose money every year, but this is going to be my year. And the difference between the Reds and the Cubs is managers. But go ahead, Pay.
That's right. Chicago Cubs are a professional baseball team, and they play in Chicago. The Chicago Sky, they're a pretty good. They're a pretty good team as well. Other than that, the Chicago Bears. Yeah, they're a professional team from time to time.
Okay. So you brought it up, Pay, just because you brought up Chicago Sky. Real quick, you got anything about this blockbuster deal that went down to WNBA? You know anything about it?
Of course, I know everything about it. I was paying attention to that when I was watching the game yesterday.
Okay, well, tell us about it. Since you mentioned the women's game, it's gaining a lot more popularity. Kind of pay attention to it. That's all I had my peripheral yesterday. Didn't really have time to get into it with the football games going on and stuff. But go ahead and tell us about it, Pay.
Well, we have our show, The Homies, on Fridays. I remember talking about WNBA. We had a segment talking about top 5 players or top 10 players in the W a couple of months back. And I remember one of my co-hosts, Big G Stradamus, told me that.
Wait, you call him G Stradamus now?
I'm calling him G Stradamus right now for this one.
Okay.
He told me that Jewel Lloyd was not a top 10 player. Jewel Lloyd is a beast. Not only is she the highest paid player in the league, but she is a champion, two-time scoring title, a 2-time scoring champion, and two-time a gold medalist. Putting her next to Asia, that's unfair. And the Ace has been unfair for the last 5 years. This is crazy. I don't. Well, I know why the trade was made. Kelsey Plum and Jewel Lloyd, they had threatened. Well, not threatened, but they had said that they're going to test free agency this offseason. So both teams say, all right, we wiping our hands with the situation. We're going to go ahead and swap this out. I think the winner of this trade obviously is the Aces. They get a bona fide superstar to go with the best player in the league. You can't never go wrong with that. Kelsey Plum, who is not a bum herself. In fact, she's a top 20. Yeah, I would say 20, top 20-ish player. I'm interested to see how she does as the number 1 in LA with that young squad around her. It might, they'll be a very perimeter heavy team with Cameron Brink being possibly the only post player, down low player that they have on the whole roster. Well, not roster, but in the rotation. But I'm interested to see how that goes. And Seattle, they get that number 2 pick, the number 2 pick from LA. I don't know why LA would give up a high pick like that. But I mean, Jewel Lloyd, she's worth it. But makes you wonder. I would have thought LA would have preferred to have the number 2 pick, but draft picks in WBA don't really, they're not the same. They don't hold the same value as they do in other leagues. But all in all, I love the trade.
A top 2 pick though. I don't care what league you in. You get to pick out of all the players except one.
Yeah, that's true. But
potentially they could have had Juju stay at home. No chance of that.
Juju's not coming out this year.
Okay.
Well, this following year. So, to me, this draft is really the only number 1. If you ain't got the number 1, it don't matter.
Right.
And that again, I don't want to bog down to it. The WNBA is really the top 4 picks. After the top 4, is really those players are interchangeable after that point.
Okay. So before I go to B False real quick, Pay, you called him G Stradamus. You said Jewel, what's her name? Jewel Lloyd. I was gonna say Mick Lloyd. Yeah, Jewel Lloyd. So a broken clock, broken watch is right 2 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Big G's been right, G Stradamus wise, on one other thing. Do you know what that was? One other thing, so you should know what it is.
It's only about the Bears.
I don't even agree with that. He's all over the place with the Bears. I tell you what, it's NBA related. Big G been saying it for a minute.
Oh, SGA over Luka.
Yeah. Finally this year it hits.
I know you. I've been with him on that take. I don't say Luka's trash. Like I don't go that far, but you know how G loves the trash word. Yeah, everything is trash. I don't never go that far. I just always say SGA is better. I agree to that point.
I still think it's a year early. He is now definitely Luka's been hurt, but I think he's just progressing to the point that he's better. I think Luka's still younger though, but Luka got to get in some shape, start with the injuries, and start playing some defense. Be false. What's up with you, man?
Oh, not much.
Well, I guess more specific. What's up with the Pistons?
The Pistons are currently on a road trip. They're 2-1 right now. They had a good start. They won pretty handily against the Rockets and Hawks, which are pretty formidable opponents this year. Had a tough game, a tough physical game, a game that got pretty chippy from beginning to end with the Orlando Magic. But they're just one of several teams that we've kind of created nice little rivalries with. But I like the way our team is. I like the way our team is.
Did they win that game against Orlando?
Orlando won. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, I know Wagner's back, and so is Paolo. So they become a more of a threat, a legit threat again.
So both those guys are back. They both had 30. They both scored 30 points in the game. We got a couple years ago we had a little brush up with them where Killian Hayes got into action. But most recently, when Wagner and Banchero were out, Cole Anthony rolled up on Ivy's leg and ended up breaking it. So I feel like there's a lot of emotions going into that game. Banchero was talking a lot of smack to Stewart. I don't know why he would do that. Like, that man has not got a couple screws loose, but I definitely like the way the team has kind of building his identity up, and the chemistry. I think the chemistry is good. The locker room vibes are strong. They got the belt that they pass around for every W, and the team is scrappy out there. So we're 6-4 in our last 10 games. Like I said, we're on a nice little road trip right now, and the one concern I have, I have a couple concerns. One is the fact that we're 1-6 in our division, and losing to the Cavs right now is not helping that case. So I want for us to get stronger within our division. Those are obviously the teams that we play the most. But even though we're one game above 500, we direly need another person that can go and get a bucket, somebody that can take some pressure off Cade Cunningham. He had 10 in a win. He had 10 turnovers in one game, where I just feel like, especially because he's stepping up on the defensive side of the court. I just think that he can be lax sometimes. He sometimes feels like he has to preserve his energy or something like that. But we really are missing Jaden Ivey. And I'm really interested to see how the trade deadline goes. I think that it's going to be important. Langdon has said that he's kind of shifting his focus away from, eating a bad contract for draft compensation to, making a move that can, whether it be a big move or just a move around the margins. But I think that there is definitely a clear need to have another creator out there, possibly another, a wing guy that can actually shoot. Asar Thompson and Ron Holland are developing, but they are not shooters by any stretch of the imagination. Simone Fontecchio has been disappointing all year, and we just need somebody else that can create for others, create for themselves, and also possibly somebody that can. It would be nice if we had a rim protecting 7-footer. Isaiah Stewart is one of the best rim protectors in the league, but I feel like when we go up against those 7-footers like a Mobley, like even like a Clint Capella, I feel like we have issues with. So yeah, we're looking good. I think we're 6th in the East right now, which is way above, way beyond what I would have expected. I would have liked us to be competitive and in the play-in talks. So I think that we're ahead of schedule in that regards. But there's definitely some glaring needs that we can hopefully fix without, mortgaging the future and breaking up the chemistry, because I do believe the locker room and the overall chemistry is there right now.
Now, you said that Isaiah Stewart is one of the best rim protectors in the league. Is that because everybody knows that he's a little bit touched, that he don't really want to hoop, he just want to box?
I mean, whatever it takes. I mean,
yeah, that was not to cut in, but that was Charles Oakley in his day. But go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that goes into it. I think that's somebody that you're not just running. Even though I don't know, Franz Wagner was really trying to put him in the basket last. He took 2 or 3 dunk attempts against him, but yeah, I think that he's also. I think that he has impeccable timing on his blocks, as he doesn't jump very high, and he's not very tall. He's about, I think, 6'8", 6'9" on his best day. So he's not the tallest guy. He can barely jump over a phone book. But his motor, I think that it's his motor and his timing that does it more than anything. But had being a factor that, somebody that you're not just about to run up on or push over, I think does play into his ability to protect the rim.
Okay. I like that. Let me just talk about the Cavs real quick. The Cavs lost more games in January than they did the first 2 months of the season. They're 7-5 in January. Lost 3 straight. Lost to the Rockets, the Sixers, and the Rockets. Both games against the Rockets was real close, but the problem with Cleveland is the defense right now and injuries. I think 3 of their best perimeter defenders are out, with Wade with a knee, Okoro with a wrist, and Karis LeVert with a ankle or a knee. But Karis LeVert. So as far as wing defenders go, those are 3 of their more gritty, as far as length goes, lengthy guys. So when you take those 3 out, Wade, Okoro, and LeVert, I mean, not great players, but it shortens the rotation. It makes the rotation weaker. I mean, so when we were playing Okoro, LeVert, and Wade, now to fill in for those 3, we're playing a lot more of Ty Jerome, a lot more.
It's a Tyson guy with the long hair.
Tyson. Oh, he's getting he getting more minutes than he got if nobody was hurt. But yeah, Jalen Tyson, the rookie. But really, Niang getting a lot of minutes. Niang was getting minutes anyway, but he's getting more minutes. And he's playing defense better, but he's a defensive liability when he gets more exposure. So, having to play Ty Jerome. Evan Mobley was hurt for the first, I believe, 2 games of this 3-game loser streak. He came back against Houston. And shout out to the one of your boys, Foss, the Thompson boys. His brother, Amin plays for Houston, right? And then Asur plays for y'all.
Yeah. And
I've seen Asur put in some work tonight against the Cavs already. And the other one, Amin, he had a triple-double the other night against the Cavs. So, I mean, those guys went from, high school to the G League for a year, and they actually been playing really well. They're both really, really good players. But, yeah, so I'm not so much worried about Cleveland. I think when they get back healthy, but it's the defense. That's what the numbers I was going to pull up. Had some defensive statistics for January, not even for this losing streak, for January. These guys are one of the worst teams. They're currently in January. They're bottom 5 in points allowed per game. They're bottom 5 in defensive rating. Actually, they're bottom 3 in defensive rating. They're bottom 5 in opponents' 3-point field goal percentage. They're allowing teams to shoot at 49% 3.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's the field goal percentage. I'm sorry, field goal percentage. 3-point percentage, my bad, is 39% is what they're allowing. And they're giving up almost 12 offensive rebounds a game. Part of that's Evan Mobley hurt. Part of that is I think they've been reading their press clippings too much, starting to feel like you roll the ball, we can win. We can outscore you. No, you got to put in the work on both ends of the floor. And I think now we've been exposed with the lack, even though the system works and you pass around Perun, you get the extra pass and all that stuff. I mean, you need those other guys because now your athleticism has taken a hit. And, that those guys getting beat off the dribble, those three guys out front getting beat off the dribble is causing the paint to break down. That's why teams are shooting such a high percentage. And Evan Mobley was out. So, and Wade is out. So, Niang was playing power forward. It's not a good look protecting the paint with just Niang down there. And Jared Allen's fell off a little bit. He's showing I don't want to call him soft. I was calling him soft all the time 2 years ago. He's coming back a little better, but yeah, he need to have Mobley in there with him. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the Cavs. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and I want to get into potential trades that you think your team might make so far coming up, and then we'll get into that. Probably talk about other NBA potential trades, and then finish up with the All-Star game or the All-Star starters. And I believe the reserves will be announced on Wednesday night. So we'll go ahead and make some predictions about that. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. And shout out to the homie Gavin Anthony. Gavin, you right. After last year's playoff series, the Cavs and the Magic do have the makings of a kind of a East Coast rivalry in the Eastern Conference. And Paolo and Wagner are here to stay. And both Wagner boys are kind of like, they're not like Isaiah Stewart, but they some rough boys, some rough hombres. So I know they're gonna bring it every time they lace them up and get between the lines. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and take this quick break, and we'll be right back. If you listen to audio out here, if you watch my partners pay some bills, we'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Central Division Showdown. I'm your boy Tate in the building, hosting this week's episode on the Know It Alls channel. We got the 313 D-Town homie B False in the building, talking about his Pistons. And we got the homie Pay in the building from Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans, Fans First Sports Network. The homies, I guess he's on Steel Curtain Network too. Everything Chicago, the Bears, the Bulls, the Cubs, and just, everything Chicago. Pay. Fellas, so let's get into real quick what we think, what we know, what we like to see in way of trades. And we'll talk more broad base in just a second. But right now, I want to know about the potential for each of our teams. Pay. I mentioned earlier, Chicago could be a third team involved in a Jimmy Butler trade where they take back Bradley Beal. Sounds like Bradley Beal okays it. They're going to try and make it work. But what have you heard? What do you want to see? Who's available? I mean, I don't even know who Chicago would send out in that trade, but what do you know?
That trade has been bandied about a little bit on social media, Reddit, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky. I don't know how much legs it has for those two pieces involving the Bulls, but I do agree. The Bulls, there's one big trade piece this trade cycle this season. That's Jimmy Butler. He's going to get moved. The Bulls would be stupid to not try to get into that mix somewhere because they have trades, they have pieces they want to get moved off as well because they need back some future assets. They need to get off some money. They need to get off players that are just not helping them win, right? And I can name three of them right now. And Bucci Man, Zach LaVine, and Zobal, those three in particular. The trade market for all three of those players have been very cold for the last 12 to 18 months. This Jimmy Butler thing is going to happen. So it's as hot as the sun's ass crack. There's no way that the Miami Heat and the Phoenix Suns, two pejorative hot sounding teams, right? So there's no way they can do a A to B trade that facilitate both squads because I don't think it'll work for Miami to get back Bradley Beal. I think they want something else that matches what they got culture wise. Bradley Beal, I don't think.
And Phoenix will have a lot of assets to give out in way of future picks and stuff like that.
They don't because they pushed all their chips in.
Right.
Trying to get Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and the rest. Bradley Beal, that contract is also got to get moved as well. So it's going to take another team, maybe even a second team. Maybe it's got to be a 4-team deal. Like I said, Chicago needs to put their nose into all that business. They need to make sure, hey, look, if players get moved, we got some players too. Help us help you.
So what do you want to see back? Just assets? Is there a young player involved in Phoenix and Miami that you want to see come back to Chicago or something like that?
I would like to see the kid Wade out of Miami. I know that's probably like wishful thinking because
where?
I'm sorry. I know that's probably wishful thinking because he's blowing up right now. He's blowing up right now. Miami's probably like, nope, this is coach working. He's staying right here for the time being. But as of like that, I don't think there's anybody in the league right now that the Bulls should have their eyes focused on right now because the Bulls, those three players I named aren't it that the Bulls need to jettison off the roster. There's another player, but I don't think it's too early to trade him right now. But if they can if you could trade someone to the G League, they should be doing that with him in particular.
Who is him?
Patrick Williams.
Okay, he was like a number 4 overall pick, right?
The 2020 draft. A lot of Bulls fans will tell you that this team started going to the dumps when Zobal got hurt in 2021-22 season. I say no. That draft in 2020 when they took Patrick Williams number 4, that's what doomed this squad. I think
that draft, y'all saved us. Not a lot though, because we came back in number 5 and took Isaac Okoro.
Isaac Okoro is better than Pat Williams. Let me tell you, Pat Williams, he averaged 9-4 as a rookie. Pat Williams is averaging the same 9-4 as a fifth year player.
More money too.
And again, you're making my point for me, B. Foster. Zobal getting hurt was damning for the Bulls because they didn't have a backup guard. They needed somebody to facilitate the ball to Zobal and to DeMar DeRozan.
Was White there when Ball got hurt, or
he was, but
he was young.
Kobe White isn't a facilitator in that matter. He's a scoring guard. So if Pat Williams continued to evolve and progress like an actual professional basketball player, they could have staved some of this off. But now they're just a mid squad. They only plan to be in the play-in every year. They plan to get one postseason game so you can, price gouge everybody to the moon, and then go on their merry way. Them blowing that draft and then doubling down on it and then giving them $90 million this past offseason has crippled this squad. And I'm gonna say why it's crippled them, because look, they traded for Josh Giddey this offseason too. Josh Giddey has played decent ball. Josh Giddey is a lot better than Patrick Williams. Now you telling me Josh Giddey don't see how much Pat Williams get paid?
I think with more upside, even including Patrick Williams' potential athleticism, seen over Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's a better basketball player.
He's young too.
Yeah,
like he's 23 or something. 22.
Yeah, he is young, but he's still too old for them girls that he like. The Giddey's upside, if he doesn't ever get arrested, it is through the roof compared to Pat Williams. So I know Giddey's looking across the locker room and say, "Hey, bro, got a $90 million contract out of these fools. What am I gonna get? I know I'm gonna get paid. I'm gonna get paid out the wazoo, and I'm just, and he's a good player. He's a nice player, but I mean, Josh Giddey, Joe.
I think once he improves his shooting stroke, he can be a difference maker. I think that's what's holding him back. Is his 3-point shooting. He can facilitate. He can rebound for his size. I mean, he can even probably, like I say, he can rebound for his size. He just got to start knocking down that three about a 35, 37% clip, and he's going to be a player.
Yeah, for a contending team, he could be a very good player. I mean, you know what team that could use him? Oklahoma. but like you said,
Caruso though.
Yeah, they are. The Bulls are a terrible defensive team, and Caruso used to be on the Bulls. But those are just some of the decisions the Bulls make. And so to answer the question, I don't necessarily think as a player right now that's going to help this team do anything in the interim. This team needs to be torn down to the struts again. They need to get back all the future assets they can. It doesn't matter if it's second round picks. I argue with my guys on the channel all the time. Like no one wants second round picks. Second round picks aren't trash. You know, you got a future Hall of Famer MVP running around Denver right now who's drafted in the second round.
Yeah, and you got a 4-time ring winner up in Golden State.
Exactly. If you have culture, if you know how to develop certain players, your second round picks can be golden. So on one hand, I understand why Bulls fans don't want second round picks because they know they ain't gonna do nothing with it. But look what you're doing with number 4 picks. You drafted trash right there too. You might as well take it all you can get.
You could have got Patrick Williams in the second round, but what was I gonna say? You made a point. I want to comment on it. Move along. I can't think what I was gonna say now. But so you strip it down to the studs, start over, and I think you can get off everybody for something, except for Patrick Williams. You start paying. He got to be fresh into his $90 million.
This is his first. He signed it in the offseason. I think the team that the Bulls probably have the best shot.
5 years.
It's like 480 or something like that. 4 for 8.
I think it's a 4-year deal. But off the top of my head, that's my guess.
$20 million a year.
Yeah. So
and that's about the going rate for a third player on the team, the third best player. But I don't think he's that anywhere he goes though.
9 points a game? No, I ain't gonna.
Right.
I keep telling people they should have sent it to the G League 2 years ago to figure this thing out because he not getting the development he needs up in on Madison and Damon. Send him over there to DePaul. Let him work it out over there. But I think the team that the Bulls have the best shot of fleecing this trade deadline is the Lakers. The Lakers have a legitimate need for a center. Vucci Man is putting up great numbers, 20 and 10 on damn near 50, 40, 90. You might as well, try to, stretch them out. The Lakers with LeBron, they're always in win now mode.
What's a fleece though? Because I agree, Vucci Man's been beasting. He's a defensive liability.
Mm-hmm.
The Pacers gonna put Miles Turner on the market.
Yeah, but the Pacers are actually winning, so they may not want to, send out.
They don't want to extend Miles Turner. LeBron and them don't care about that. They want to get in now. Miles Turner next to AD, I like that better than AD and Vucci Man.
How long has Miles Turner been on the trade market?
For a couple of years, but they got to pay him next year though. So I think they looking to get off of him.
Yeah, enough. They doing a lot of hemming and hawing. I think the Bulls need to take advantage of that. Say, look, you can play around with waiting to see what they do with Miles, or you can take this right now. Take this right now. Send us a future unprotected, and let's work it out.
I agree with you, but I mean, everybody got to the 6. I mean, that's so true. if they wait till what 3:30 p.m. on the 6th and Vucci Man all available, then do it. But if you can finagle Miles Turner before that, and what do you want back from the Lakers? They don't have many assets either in way of picks.
Well, you saw what the Suns are doing. They trading picks. They traded picks in the 2030s already. The Bulls could use that. They take a 2030 pick.
Okay.
2030. What is that? A third grader?
Yeah, he might.
He probably can make the Bulls right now.
6th grader, but yeah, he's still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
20. Hey, watching some of these basketball clips online, some of these 6th graders got ball. They can hoop.
Yeah, they do. And I will agree with you, Pay. I mean, second round picks. Yeah, you can use the picks, but you use them to package with other stuff and get some. So
yeah, I agree. You got to start playing some chess, right? You said everybody got to the 6. I think, aka me, the Bulls, executives. They should have been started this. They should have started this months ago. I mean, they should have been working the phone.
Everybody that's trying to acquire has to the 6,
right?
To bring your price down, wait you out, so to speak.
They should have been, selling their assets for a long time ago, right? Vucci Man, I think, is the most likely player that can be sent somewhere for a future first. Zach LaVine, I think everyone knows what his ceiling is. He's got his ceiling. I think they don't, if we bring him in to a contender, he's going to be a third. How does that look for him? For somebody who needs the ball to do whatever he's got to do.
He made a lot of money for a third too.
True. I don't like the way he looks for LA, but knowing LA the way I do, they're probably gonna get Zach instead of Vooch.
Names, but if they trading you a couple seconds and sending your boy what's his name over there from Oklahoma, Reeves, send you Reeves and send you another piece like that, then that's doable because now Reeves. You bring in Zach LaVine to replace Reeves. You don't have the facilitation, I think, but you got definitely a high-end number 3 scoring option.
True. And then there's Zobal. Zobal, I think he's the more interesting piece that the Bulls have to offer. I think a serious contender, should look at him more than they should look at anybody else because he's
still some upside too if he comes back from injury legit.
Oh yeah, because he can give you 30 minutes, right? He can give you 30 minutes and he can play 3 to 4 positions on defensively. He can spread the ball around and he can knock down a set shot. That's the type of stuff that can win you championships.
30 minutes?
Well, he's on a 25 to 30 minute restriction.
And I think but I think the problem with him is he got his deal too, and you gambling, and he can only give you 30 minutes. He made too much money for the potential production output, considering he's limited and he's coming back from injury.
He's expiring though, right?
Yeah,
the deal is.
Okay.
This is last one.
Now you talking then?
Yeah.
So he didn't got paid for basically rehabbing over the past.
Yeah. He got paid. Yeah, while he was hurt.
he got paid to listen.
That.
He got paid to sit in the studio with Jello and argue with Stephen A.
Okay. Be false, man. We great. Come over your way with the Pistons. So in any potential trades, you can see the Pistons, somebody getting off. You can see anybody you want to try to acquire. I know we may talk of this earlier, a few episodes ago, about a potential true point guard. And you mentioned a little bit earlier about taking some responsibility off Cade. And I think Cade's in the perfect places if he's playing the secondary playmaker and not the primary playmaker. But go ahead.
Yeah, the guys that I've kind of had my eye on are guys like a Colin Sexton, or because we all know that they're selling and they're trying to capture the flag when it comes to the draft coming up. So I could see. I mean, I kind of want to avoid dealing with a Danny Ainge because we all know he's out there trying to
King Fleecer. Yeah.
I was gonna say you want to talk about fleecing. That's King Fleece. But even a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who's just a true point guard, a high assist to turnover ratio guy that's not gonna he's gonna come in and not make a whole lot of not ruffle anybody's feathers or come in and shake things up, but he's gonna do his job. So I would like to see them go after guys like that. We're in a unique space right now where we have the cap space to I've been seeing a lot of rumors of us being involved in the Jimmy Butler situation because they are going to need a third team to facilitate and take on some cap. So I've been seeing guys like Chris Middleton, who's an ex-Piston way back when, a Pat Connaughton, who is probably the least probably a least appealing name out there, but also not Clinton Portis, Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now that is an interesting player that I would love to see paired on a second unit with a Isaiah Stewart. I feel like that would be a force to reckon with. That would be a menacing front line. We're definitely looking for another floor spacing big guy other than Tobias Harris, who's been kind of off and on, good veteran presence, but when he leaves the court, there's a sizable drop in production at that 4 position. So I think Bobby Portis will be a guy that would come in and embody the same blue collar work ethic that we already have going. But I think that just like last year, where we were very active for different reasons, because we were just kind of, I don't know. I think Weaver was just kind of he knew his days were numbered, and he just had to do whatever he could do. But I think we're going to be active again this year. Now we want to make the big splash and go after Zach LaVine. He has been snapping over the last couple of games, despite the fact that the Bulls have not been good. I want to say he's averaging in the high 20s as far as points is concerned, and he would be a major asset to the team right now. So assuming we don't have to, I mean, they don't have a leg to stand on right now. They're trying to lose right now, and they're trying to get off as much money as they can. So I really feel like they can't ask for much. So that would be the major splash, a guy like LaVine.
I was just thinking of potential teams, and I know the New Orleans Pelicans trying to get off. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to pay Brandon Ingram. He's available. I don't know if he fits Detroit.
Is he going to play anymore this season?
That's the thing for me. Yeah, because they're another team that don't really have a leg to stand on, because Ingram is, the last thing they want is to let him go for nothing. But yeah, they're trying to. I mean,
they may have to, but go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like they couldn't ask for too much, especially because I don't think he's played all year. He's played, but he hasn't played a lot lately. I don't know if he's just kind of sitting out.
I think he's missed the last 22 games.
He like Randy Moss. He played when he wanted to. You know what I mean? He just using this. He's using this as leverage. I'm not saying. You know what I mean? He uses
that boy brittle. Different
position. He's not. He's not going to play for us. So those teams that have any interest in him, they wait until February 6th at 3:30, and then like New Orleans, this is it. We got 27 minutes left. I'm giving you this, and either they gonna do that trade, or they're gonna be stuck with Brandon Ingram. He gonna walk for nothing.
Yeah, and yeah. So
you know what? That I'm sorry to cut you off, B-Dirt, but that would be what New Orleans deserve. It's their fault for trying to build a whole roster out of Duke Blue Devils. Go on.
I knew it was going to be erratic because I was like, the roster makeup is kind of nice. If you're talking about, you got Murray, you got Zion and Ingram, two Duke guys. I get it. Are there other ones?
They had 5 of them at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, that was their fault, and it went nowhere.
Yeah, it really didn't. It really didn't.
What that mean? They was better than the Bulls last couple of years. They just
McCollum is another name as far as guys that can go and get his own shot. He can play the point guard. That's another, and I think he had a 50-point game this year.
Big bread though. But he would be a great piece next to Cade though.
We got cap. I mean, we probably have the most cap space right now to acquire. Salary.
You can bring that money in and handle it.
Yeah. Okay,
well, real quick, speak of the Cavs, I think this losing streak this month of January, I know there's a lot of talk going on during the 35-5 start that I don't know. I don't want to ruin the chemistry. They're playing so good together and stuff. Chemistry be damned. It's about talent. If you can make upgrades by getting off a few of those bench players, you have to do it. And right now, I'm looking at not too many guys, but if there's any way to get the dude to play for the Nets from the
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson.
Tar Heel.
Yeah, Tar Heel. If there any way to get him and plug him in at the 3, and B-Falls, I didn't say that defeat his Tar Heel ego. But shout out to the homie Vince Carter, Hall of Famer. But getting his
jersey retired in 2 places.
2 places. Yeah, but yeah, I know we had to. Me and Pave had some philosophical differences in basketball over the years. At one point, I had Lance Stevenson over Danny Green.
You shouldn't have brought this back up.
Well, I'm just saying what it was. I don't know if that is so bad. Yeah,
I don't. Because he went to North Carolina, but Danny Green,
Danny Green is a hooper. He got what, 5 rings?
I was gonna say he's got some rings though, because he played for the Spurs. He played for the Spurs or something.
If it wasn't for that rebound by Bosh and kick out to Ray Allen, Danny Green would have won Finals MVP that year.
Oh, that is bold.
He was murking the Heat.
And the other one was Grant Hill over Vince Carter. I had Grant Hill, and I still know Grant Hill's a better prime. Grant Hill's better than Vince Carter ever was.
Debatable.
But then again, before that goes back to the whole Duke Carolina thing.
Yeah, of course.
He can't even admit it. Prime Grant Hill, but yeah,
debatable.
So, but as far as the Cavs go, I mean, I want Cam Johnson. I'd take Brandon Ingram for nothing just because it's talent there. But we'd have to pay him. That'd put us over the threshold next year because you'd be paying. He'd be starter at 3, but you'd be paying all 5 starters, which weakens your bench. So I think you got to be calculated. I think we do need to bring a linear, long, lengthy 3 in. You know what I mean?
I wish there was a better word. Wingspan.
You know what? Long, lengthy, was that it?
One adjective is enough.
But yeah, man. All right, man. I give myself to no Diddy, man. I guess it seems deserved. Here you go for you, Pay. I mean, for me, but for you. No Diddy. But yeah, man, that's the only thing I'm looking to acquire is a 3. I mean, a higher end 3, or even I'd take is it Vanderbilt to play for the Lakers? Him
or play is a you got to put that.
Yeah, he's been hurt too, but I mean,
last 3 years or something.
I might even gamble because his deal is shorter. I might even gamble on Jeremy Grant if he's available out there, But we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. But we're going to take our last break real quick and come back and just talk about the All-Star for about the last 6 or 7 minutes. All right. So if you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. Shout out to some of the folks that came in the live chat. Bruh, man, 5th floor is here. UNC is a college high. Bruh, man, see laughing at UNC being a college. Well, they got Bill Belichick and Hubert Davis, man. They got some legit coaches.
Belichick.
Better is debatable. Are we talking about Lance Stevens and Danny Green or Vince Carter and Grant Hill?
He was talking
Tell me that while we go to break, bro, man. 5th flow. We'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Central Division Showdown Block C, about to close this thing up. Talking about All-Stars. Well, I want to ask 2 questions of each of you. Hey, do the Bulls have an All-Star on their roster?
They have an All-Star weekend participant.
That's when you know things are bad. Who is that?
The rookie, Mates. Buzelis. He will be participating in the slam dunk contest. Don't miss it. The young boys are out. Hey, all things considered, he's been one of the bright spots for this squad this season. He's shown promises from game in and game out. I'm not going to glaze him and say anything like that. He's the future or next coming. I think he was a decent pick in a otherwise horrible draft, but the athleticism there, he can jump out the gym. Like, he gonna show you something come All-Star Saturday. His defense is probably one of the best on the squad. And he's got a little bag for him. I mean, there's nothing, none of those tools are sharp, but there's tools in the bag. Given the amount of time, you get some of these vets who don't share the ball out the way, he might be decent.
Hey,
but he definitely putting somebody in the bucket on Saturday.
Be false.
What's up?
He found a way to get some Chicago airtime. Then he answered the question.
I did answer the question.
I
said there's a participant.
They have an All-Star. See, now
All-Star weekend participant.
When I go to Be False, I know they got an All-Star. I think. I'm pretty sure. Be False, dude. Does Detroit have an All-Star?
Yeah, I believe that Cade Cunningham is going to be an all-star. There was some thought that he might be a starter, but I think that although he's getting some nice media coverage and some, Jalen Brunson, I guess you can say Jalen Brunson beat him out because Donovan Mitchell definitely deserves to be a starter. So yeah,
part of that is popularity contest too, though. So
yeah, he's getting there. He's kind of
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, Pay, real quick. Because I'll be all day talking about all-star participants. But Pay, so who's the Bulls' best player?
Kobe White.
And who are the two players right after him?
Zach LaVine and Vucci Bang.
And you want to get off both your best players. So
you get off the two older ones?
Are you in tank mode then? After trade deadline?
Most Bulls fans have been in tank mode for 3 seasons now. It's just been, like I said, that draft from 2020 is what screwed this whole thing up. So to answer your question, exactly, the team needs to be torn down. It's tank mode right now. It should have been tanking already. Well, as you see, the last 9 games, the Bulls are tanking. They've kicked it off.
Okay.
Capture flag.
So be false. The two next best players behind Cade Cunningham.
Malik Beasley
is the best player on the team.
Is the second best player on the team, I believe.
Even Jay Knivey healthy, he's the second best.
Oh well, if you want to, health.
Yeah. I mean, players.
That's actually pretty close. Actually, Malik Beasley. Jay Knivey. I don't know. He only played like I don't know how many games he played this year, but I think Beasley was a tad bit more reliable over. But I'm gonna stick with Malik Beasley on that.
Okay.
And then Ivy's probably the third as far as overall, but other than that, Asar Thompson, because you got Hardaway, you got Tobias Harris, but I think overall, as far as impact, both ends of the court, Asar Thompson is definitely up there.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think you say Beasley because what he's doing right now.
But that's the problem. But that's part of the problem to why we do need some help is that anytime Malik Beasley is debatably your second best player, great role player, but he also comes off the bench. Right. I think he started a handful of games when Hardaway was hurt, but your second most reliable offensive player need not be Malik Beasley if you got any playoff aspirations.
Right. No, I don't disagree with you. I'm gonna say the Cavs have 3 All-Stars. Donovan Mitchell's voted the starter. I think Evan Mobley makes it, and I think Darius Garland will get voted in. It's gonna be close with him, but I think he makes it just because they're the best record in the East. And that's part of it. This 3-game losing streak could hurt them. I don't know. They're currently up against the Pistons like by 14 with 6 minutes left. So they should get off that losing streak. I don't know how many more games left until All-Star break. When's All-Star weekend pay? That's like Valentine's weekend, ain't it? Yeah, so probably a few more games left. It's never at the midway point anymore. It's always about almost 2/3 of the season over with by the time they play the All-Star game now. But yeah, so I got Darius Garland making it as of right now. If they can turn this thing around and lose only one more game between now and the All-Star game, I think he'll make it. Now, as far as the best player on the Cavs, top 3 players, I'm gonna go a different route. But y'all probably heard me say it before. Different route for number 1 player. Number 1 player is Evan Mobley, and he was out for, like I said, three games in January already, and so it's no surprise when the game goes to strictly perimeter and Garland and Mitchell getting up shots. They still passing, but you need that inside presence, that big 7-foot driving presence. So he's the most important player. Donovan Mitchell's the best player. He's why he's paid like the best player. That's why Evan Mobley got his rookie deal max, because he's coming next. He's up next. Balls. But yeah, and Darius Garland. I mean, I think there was some thought they could get 40 in, but this losing streak hurts Jared Allen more than it hurt Darius Garland, because Darius Garland was still putting up numbers. The paint defense was weak when Mobley was out. Jared Allen had some not so the best games. He looked like he did against Mitchell Robinson and what's the guy that went to Oklahoma?
Hardenstein
against them that playoff series, just getting bullied. So that's been back for the past week anyway. He's going to play better tonight. I'm anxious to see if he has a double-double. But yeah, so that's about it, man. So fellas, you got anything you want to say if we go ahead and get out of here?
The Bulls have just entered halftime against the Denver Nuggets. They're down 7, which is not the most surprising thing about this game. Most surprising thing about this game is who I think the best player is so far for the Bulls out of the first half.
Patrick Williams.
There you go, Patrick Williams. He got Donovan McNabb. Billy Donovan. He benched Pat Williams, and the Bulls ran a 4-guard lineup out there as if this was college ball, as if this was
Florida.
Yeah, Florida from back in the day, or Villanova, right? So Bucci, man, Zach LaVine, they both leading the team in scoring. However, they got careless turnovers. Bucci, man, I think got 5 turnovers. Pat Williams off the bench, 13 minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 50% from the field and 50% from 3. Hey, if this is what you got to do to get that young man hooping, keep him on the pad.
Well, he's coming off the bench. He's getting limited minutes. He's playing better.
Hey, maybe less is more.
Less is more. That can be often true. All right, be false. Hey, tell us where everybody can find you at, man.
Well, we're going to break down this game in its entirety and talk some more in-depth stuff about what the Bulls got going on and where we see the Bulls going in the future. Hitting the airwaves tomorrow at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Check that out everywhere you get your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pandora, wherever. Also on YouTube at the same handle, Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel.
Okay. And be false. Anything you want to say?
Yeah,
and
Casey.
Let us know where we can find you.
So, well, first and foremost, you can catch us at Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. As far as our Pistons podcast, that's post-game podcast. You'll see the red, white, and blue logo with the logo of the paint, or the post, as you might call it. But case in point, why we need to get Cade Cunningham some help. It's the Cade and Beasley show, and then just everybody else doing some cardio. Asar Thompson has 0 points tonight. Tobias has another lowly 2 points today. Hardaway has 8. You just don't get enough scoring production outside of Cunningham and Beasley, and not too much help off the bench outside of Beasley. So, yeah, we need another scorer. Duran's having a decent game, 12 points and 15 rebounds, but you just can't get 2 points from Tobias, 8 from Hardaway, and 0 from Asar. Crazy.
Okay. Pay, I wanted to ask you when we were on the topic, because we talking about the Bulls tanking. The Bulls finished 1 or 2. I mean, in the draft lottery, get the 1 or 2 pick. Who you want? Would you? You're not taking no Duke guy, right?
Ooh.
The Bulls love a good Blue Devil. That goes all the way back to the Paxson days. And Bulls didn't really won since they had a two Tar Heels manning the ship. But that's neither here nor there. I think Buddy out of obviously Cooper Flagg from Duke is the most notable guy at the top of the draft. Well, there's some other names coming up on his heels that
big man from Auburn, he's nice too.
Yes, I was just going to say him. Auburn is that guy out of Auburn. That's a pro. That's a legit pro. If I've ever seen one out of this class. There's a couple other guys up there playing in the Northeast.
Harper and
Ron
Rutgers.
Harper's son. Yeah, he's a dog too.
Got some bull lineage.
Yeah, Cavalier lineage.
Oh, you gonna pass him off on the Cavs? That's crazy.
Well, he was a dog for the Cavs. I mean, he was a dog for the Clippers
He
too.
He played his best individual ball for the Cavs,
but he was a champion for the Bulls.
Champion for the Lakers.
And the Lakers.
You want a champ? Or you?
Yeah, out of Miami of Ohio, my sister's alma mater, and Ben Roethlisberger and Wally Zerbiak from there.
Yeah, Wally Zerbiak. Ben.
But yeah, man. Well, as far as I go, I'm about to get out of here. Thanks to the fellas, Pay, Be False. Be sure to check your channels out. I'm Tate. You can find me. You can find this in particular on the That's Rather Cavalier podcast on your audio platforms. Just search FFSN. That's Rather Cavalier. Be it you listen to Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen, you can find it. And we on here every other week or every third week, hosting on the Know It Alls channel. Check us out on the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel and the Bleachers to Speakers on those other weeks off. So, you follow us, follow them. Like I said, you can find me again on Wednesday night on the Steel Curtain Network, on the Pump Your Brakes podcast with one G. Stradamus in the building, making all kind of predictions. I ain't saying he's right about all the predictions, but he's making all kind of predictions.
We really got to get him a hat. We really got to get him a one of those
gypsy hats.
Yeah, we got to get him one of those, and we got to make a segment just for like, all right, look, 5 minutes into the show, put the hat on and let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Yeah, I don't dislike that. I'm gonna look and see if I can find a gypsy hat on Amazon and send it his way. But yeah, man. Then Friday night, me and Pay back in the building on the homies with G. Stradamus and the homie B. Dirt on the Running Through the Jungle podcast channel for Cincinnati Bengals on the Fans First Sports Network. Check it out. We do the homies on Friday, and after that, we do homies overtime. Where on the homies we talk about AFC North football mainly. AFC North football is dead for the year. So we'll still find all-season stuff to talk about. Man, I'm not going to get too much into it. We're about wrapping up. But NFC North football been dead since the first week of the playoffs. Sheesh. Well, the Lions did make the second week. But, yeah. But the thing about them is nobody had to play each other. Like, the Ravens knocked the Bengals out. And the Ravens should have probably beat Buffalo. But that's another story. We'll talk about that else time. And then on Sundays, you can check me out with the homie Big G and Mod on the Know It Alls podcast Sunday, right at around 6 o'clock. I'll make it 6:05 because some of these jokers always stepping in the building late. Like they know you're supposed to be at work at 6, but they don't get there like 6:03. So the scheduled time is 6:05 for that show. Probably should do the same thing on Fridays for the homie Pay too, though. Though he shows up on time most of the time. But some people no call, no show. But yeah, so until we get together again on the Central Division Showdown, your boy Tate saying peace out for the homie Pay, the homie B Falls. Shout out to the homie June and GQ, and is it double J3, triple J3, J Trey in the building because they sometimes are on here with us too. So until next week, we out. Peace.